Hello, I'm Dr. Jimmy Steger, host of Monster Trophy Whitetails TV, and today I have with us here President and CEO of Bradley Custom Calls, Mr. Hoot Bradley. Mr. Hoot, thanks for coming out and seeing us today and delivering our very own signature series Monster Trophy Whitetail Grunt Calls. Let's see these things. Tell us what you got here.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Steger. Appreciate you having us out, man. This is the Raging Buck. This is a very unique grunt call. It's solid wood, custom from top to bottom. Solid cherry wood on top and bottom, and break in the middle, and you can adjust your reed. Dr. Steger, I think you'll be very excited to have that as your signature series grunt call.
Well, thank you so much. This is awesome. This is solid wood, and then we have this one here is a little different.
Yes, sir. It's maple top with a walnut insert with adjustable reed with a flex tube. Extremely effective, and our traditional grunt right there.
Great.
And that's the Flaming Buck, and the other call is the Raging Buck.
So Flaming Buck with a flex tube on it, and then the Raging Buck, which is a fixed wood.
That's right.
Let me explain to some of the viewers, for those who are not used to grunt calls or really don't know the background on them, but the reason the industry originally started out with this, and I know Mr. Bradley did the same thing, is if you ever dissect or open up a white-tailed deer and you look at their vocal cords, that's basically the way they look. So in order to get the pitch that you need, you have to replicate that the best you can, and that's what Bradley Custom Calls has done. So along with the inside, you have a pitch, which is a O-ring that slides up and down, and you can use this for grunt calls and other things as well, right?
That's right. You can use it for a doe bleat or a fawn distress bleat.
Simply by pulling that O-ring up, correct?
That's right, going closer to the top.
Right, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk to you a little about how we effectively use our calls for Monster Trophy Whitetails and what it takes to help try to lure some of these big bucks in. I'm going to demonstrate a couple different types of grunts for you today using both calls so you can see the difference in how they sound. And the way I have them pitched, what I do to a lot of my calls as soon as I get them is I'll take and get them fixed where I want them so they won't come apart in the field for vibration or pulling apart somehow where you're climbing up your stand. And I put a little glue on them, get them where I want to, and that way they don't move. So that's the secret that I've always done. Some people don't like to do that, but I like to keep mine fixed where I like it, which sounds pretty much well like the bucks that I've heard over the 30+ years I've been hunting whitetails, and try to get them fixed where they sound pretty normal to what we hear in the woods every day. There's no real right or wrong, but I'm going to show you and demonstrate 3 different types of grunts that I use. The first one is the early season grunt, which is what we call a single grunt. It's fairly low, not too loud, but it's a single grunt we use when the bucks are still in groups. A lot of times they have the does in a group, the bucks in groups, and they're not mating, they're not rutting yet. So what you do a lot of times, we'll be up a tree, which is what we do our early bow season hunting most of the time, and we'll just give it a nice, simple, one shot we call a burp. And when you do this, you place this part of the tube on your lip and this one over the top and give a little simple guttural sound using your throat. Try not to blow too hard. A lot of people, when they use grunt calls, they blow too hard. That's not necessary. A buck can hear you grunt from 75 or 100 yards very easily, just on a light tone itself. So all it takes is a little simple call like this. I like to grasp the bottom with my thumb and fold my hands over until the bottom shuts that off. And then by turning this and pitching it, you can throw that sound the way you want to. So if I'm in a tree early season and I'm trying to get the attention of a buck, maybe that's in the woods, and there's some does around me and I want to try to get a buck to come in, I'll simply do this one time.
Absolutely.
That's it. One time. Open it up a little bit. If you want to pitch it, you can open your hand up. If you want a little different variation, you can use both hands, which I do sometime. That's it. One time is all it takes to attract a buck out there. And sometimes that's how we kill our big bucks early season. The second type is we call a tending grunt. A tending grunt is a real soft, low pitch grunt. It's usually in series of 2.
That's right.
Never more than 3. Three is okay, but never more than that. It's real soft and done the same way. And this is done when a buck is starting to tend does. He's looking, he's out there. You want to attract him out of the thicket. You'll do it twice, the same style of way here. Real soft, that's all it takes. Put it down, wait 10 or 15 minutes, then do it again. It's called a tinning grunt. Then you have what we call a trailing grunt that's done. It's a more excited type of sound. It's done when the bucks are in full rut. They're chasing, they got their nose to the ground, they're chasing these does around through the woods, and you're gonna try to stop them, try to get them to come to you. It's kind of hard in all the scenarios I've ever seen to ever get a big buck away from a doe that's hot, but you can sure try, and this is the way we do it here. We take it, do the same thing, a little bit louder tone, a little louder, and about 3 more excited types of burps, and this is truly a little bit louder. And that's all it takes.
Perfect.
You do that 2 or 3 times. A lot of times you can break that buck away or get him to stop long enough to get a shot. If he's coming through the woods, you've got to stop him sometimes, and that's where a lot of times we use a doe bleat. But if he already has a doe with him, doe's going to be running and bleating anyway, so we really don't like to use that. So we have the 2 different types of calls here, and you've heard the call we just showed you there, which is the flaming buck. Now we're going to let you listen to this awesome wood one. I haven't even blown this raging buck yet, so I can't wait to hear it. It's beautiful, beautiful. It's got our signature stamp on one side and the Bradley custom calls on the other. So let's hear what this baby sounds like. Awesome. You can use, once again, one hand, or you can use 2 if you want to take it and open it up a little bit. And that's all it takes, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank Mr. Hoot Bradley for coming out and delivering these calls to us today. What an awesome set of calls. I can't wait to get in the woods and use them myself this upcoming season. If you're interested in a professional made call, custom designed by professional callers for professional people or amateurs just like good old boys, make sure you go to their website, Bradley Custom Calls, and order your custom Monster Trophy Whitetail Signature Series today. Mr. Hoot, thanks again for coming out and delivering these.
Thank you, Dr. Steger. Appreciate you having us. It's been a pleasure.
Well, this is awesome. Order yours today.
Thank you.